we would like to welcome our guest, mashallah ta'ala, from the faraway land of Valley Ranch, which requires qasr when you get over here. And somebody who, mashallah, does not need any introduction. And inshallah, he'll be with us after Isha, inshallah, as well. Appreciate him coming to show support for our masjid and our project. And Shaykhana, our topic today, we're doing the proofs of Islam. And we've gone over a number of proofs. Today, we talked about the seerah as a proof for the truth of Islam. So people ask, how do we know Islam to be true? We spent 3-4 weeks about the fitrah and how the fitrah, and today we talked about the seerah. So would you like to share some thoughts? I'm putting the spot here, but if somebody were to come to you and say, how do you know Islam is true? Some 20-year-old university student studying in philosophy, reading Heidegger, right, coming to you with all these questions about Dasein and whatnot, and he's like really troubling, or Hegelian, Marxist interpretations of history. So how would you respond to, how do you know Islam to be true? Bismillah.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Allah yabarak fikum for having us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man wala. I actually would respond from my own perspective that the way that I became convinced of Islam was actually through the science of dalal al-nubuwwah, the proofs of prophethood. When I was in my own journey of search, the la ilaha illallah part was actually not problematic to me at all. In fact, it was very obvious to me, self-evident, right, that there's only one God. I feel like the ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasūl Allah actually solved more problems for me, because the belief in one God just makes so much sense and resonates so easily with the fitrah. Everything else, there has to be some sort of definitive roadmap structure that actualizes all of that into how we approach theology, morality, philosophy, and everything else. And so for me, when I kind of honed in on the Prophet ﷺ as a person and came to that conclusion that there is no way that this man is not a prophet of Allah, everything else just became secondary. I'm at peace when my position that I would have arrived at through the vehicles, through the means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to me, turn out to be wrong. I'm actually totally okay with it because I believe this man receives divine revelation, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You almost put yourself in the place of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu after al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, right? Like, what is more incredible than believing that this man is spoken to by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that he receives divine revelation? After that, nothing else seems extraordinary, right? Nothing else seems out of balance as far as the claims that he would make, so long as the claims that he would make, alayhi salatu wasalam, all fall under that وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى. He does not speak from any type of his own accord. إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَى. Everything he says is divinely inspired. And so whether you study him in terms of the proofs via his character or study him in terms of the proofs via his evidences, both of those will arrive at the exact same conclusion, ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasūl Allah. Then that's done. One of the things that one of the reflections that we have about Badr and Uhud, I think I'm out of time already, is that Badr was truly learning La ilaha illallah, Uhud was truly learning Muhammadur Rasūl Allah. Like, that's where they really exerted themselves in that regard. So arriving at that conclusion, I'd encourage you all to read one of the books that we published at Yaqeen on Proofs of Prophethood, Shaykh Muhammad al-Shinawi. It's a beautiful book, simple, can be read by anyone, and you'll see where that takes you to, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Wa jazakumullahu khairan.